Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. Yes, it's been a long time. Yes, I've not been around. I have been away. I've been Dubai. I've been Centre Parks. I've been really busy, not going to lie, here and everywhere. Plus, we had the international break as well. But you know what? What a game to come back to, right? What a game to come back to. Chelsea versus Arsenal tomorrow, which, by the way, I am going to. I will be there for that game. I'm looking very forward to it as well. Um, we'll talk more about that. We've got the press conference coming anytime now. I think Pochettino's late at the moment, from what I understand. So we'll go through the press conference and obviously find out team news, etc. We're going to talk about it tactically today as well. Obviously, we're going to go through what we think is going to be the team lineups going into that game against Arsenal. We're also going to go through what else Pochettino can do based on the players available. There were talks about the Reece James might be returning. Nathan Gisson turned around and said, not the case, but now we see a picture of Reece James running around smiling in training. So these are things that we were waiting for confirmation and clarification on as well. It's been a long time, man. It feels like it's been a very long time. Over 50 people here already. Big love to every single one of you in the chat. I hope you are all well. We'll go through the comments in a second as well. Tap the likes, guys. Do me a favor. Smash the likes. Share it out. Do what we always usually do. And let's cue that intro. People, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for this match preview of Chelsea versus Arsenal. Tomorrow, kickoff at 5:30. Big game, as we already know. Chelsea not have exactly got the greatest record against Arsenal at the Bridge at the moment, but there's some optimism because we are on a little bit of form on the back of the international duty. We won our last 3 games. We're scoring goals. We look solid from the back. Sanchez is looking, in my opinion, better and better in between the sticks as well. And, you know, we go into this game. The underdogs still, because obviously Arsenal, of where they are second in the league, could be top if Tottenham weren't performing as well as they are, doing what they continue to do from last season. So, it's going to be a challenging game. It's not going to be an easy game. Let's just get it right. They dealt with City quite well, even though I felt City didn't really perform in any way, but they dealt with them. And we are still waiting for Pochettino, who is very late. From what I understand, yep, he's still very late. So yeah, I want to go through the chat first before we get into Chelsea, because I've not seen any of you guys in a while, man. It's good to see you here. Does bro know they don't play today? What are you talking about, bro? Big up, Jim. Massive game tomorrow. Yes, Leo. How you doing, Matt? Good to see you, Fabio. Nice to see you guys. I hope you're all well. Okay. What happened to you, Jim? I'm back. That's what's happened. I'm back. I am back. And we'll be doing match previews. We're also going to be doing match reactions on Sunday as well, guys. Match reaction show for Chelsea versus Arsenal. So it's either going to go 2 ways, isn't it? We're either going to sit here and moan, or hopefully we're going to be happy. Fat says, hello, you beautiful. Hello, Fats, bro. How are you? King Mo, big up to you. Nomadic says, 1 month later, welcome back, Jim. Sorry, I know. I've been away. I was in Dubai, and then I got back. It was my birthday. I went away again. And yeah, I've just been really occupied and busy. Do you know what I mean? But it feels good to be back, and obviously talking about Chelsea and stuff as well. And yeah, let's see what happens. Is Mudryk starting? It's a good question. I don't know. Depends how we set up, how we attack this game. I kind of know what Pochettino's going to do. In my opinion, I kind of work it out already how he's going to set up, which we'll talk about later when doing the show. But Mudryk is a player in good form. He seems to be slowly thriving under Pochettino, looking like the player that we signed originally. And it goes back to what we said last season when we said we need a player in the team. He needs a manager that can help manage him into the manner that he needs to. He needs to be guided. He needs to be, an arm around him and stuff like that. And you see this season, he seems to be stepping up. His management, his man management's better. He's getting there. It's still very early doors, but he's getting there. Proper Chelsea. Big up, bro. How are you? Are you going to the match tomorrow? Because I am. Yeah, I'm going. I'll be there tomorrow. Jim living a good time. Martin, how you doing, brother? Nice to see you. Guys to see you guys. Keep tapping the screens if you can. Sorry, I know there's only 50 of us here right now. I know it's very. I haven't been around for a while, so I can appreciate that. Are you going to the match tomorrow? Yeah, I'm going, bro. I'm going. He's going to play two defensive midfielders in front of a back five. Let's say defensive. I think the three in the middle is already predicted. It's going to be Caicedo for me, Enzo, and Gallagher. They're the three that I think he will start in midfield. But if he wanted to be bold and actually attack Arsenal, he could have done it the other way. And I don't think he'll do that because I think against Arsenal, you've got to respect specific parts of their game and what they're good at doing. And we need to make sure that we're balanced. And balance is the key going into tomorrow's game for me in front of a back five. I don't think so. I think he's going to play what he has played. I think he's going to play a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 with Gallagher being like the 10 or something like that. Yeah, I'm good, bro. Nice to see you, man. Do I think Chelsea will score first? I don't know. I think we need to. I think we really do need to score first, yeah. Who's my favourite Chelsea player? Good question. I haven't got... I mean, Hazard, potentially. But Pochettino is out. Pochettino is doing his press conference now. And we are going to go over and assess that and come back to the game in a second. Yes, M3, how are you, bro? Let's quickly share the screen. Everything's changed on it now as well. StreamYard, Google. So, he is here. And a minute ago, his first comments were this. We need to assess now, as he finished training late, we need to assess Axel, Nico, Reece, Burrow is out. We have a few players that we need to assess. Ben Walker maybe be available to be on the bench. So he's basically confirmed that Disasi, Jackson, Reece are to be assessed still. Burrow is out, which basically tells me that there is a good potential that we don't have a striker tomorrow. I hope not. And I hope that Jackson's all right. But we need a striker. We need a striker on the pitch. There's no way in hell we cannot have a striker on the pitch. We have a few players that need to be assessed. He thinks Benoit will be on the bench tomorrow, not available in the team lineup. However, if Axel's injured, what does he do? Does he have to force Benoit in? I don't know. These are question marks that we're going to need answered. These are question marks we're going to need answered. And then from that, he goes on to say, Reece James was training good for the last few days. Now we need to talk with the medical staff to see if he can be available for tomorrow. Enzo trained yesterday. Caicedo arrived in the afternoon. He was in very good state there already. So midfield-wise, don't worry. The Enzos, the Caicedos, even though they've been away, are ready. Reece James is looking good, but what are we going to do with him? I think, in my honest opinion, I think we should start Gusto. I just think we've got to be careful with James. It's just becoming a bit of an issue for Chelsea at the moment because he is becoming injury prone. And I hope whatever's been going on in the past couple of months where he has been out, they've been able to somehow work out a way of maybe preventing him from, receiving the injuries that he's receiving. Because we do need him, and he is important, and he is a top player, and he's someone we need at the team. But, the one thing I would say is the signing of Malo Gusto for me, is such a big one for us. It's such a big one for us because he is coming, in my opinion, and stepped up massively. Massively. We then move on from that. What have we got here? We got anything else yet? Have we got anything else yet? We do. We have loads. Jesus. So we move on from there onto here. We enjoy a lot the break because we discover many young talents from the academy. 8% of the squad was out on duty. Some injured players. Today, that is why I am late because meetings, training, and trying to prepare for tomorrow. So he's obviously trying to prepare the team. Late, meetings, whatever. Everything's all backwards. And this is the problem. This is the effect that international duty has on the game. It has a massive effect. Um, Now it's time to build another momentum. We and the team are confident. It is different. It's a different mood. Still fighting, struggling with some injuries. Players that can recover 100%, that can't recover 100%. We are working very hard to find solutions. We are in a very positive way. So there's issues at our club. We know that we've got injuries. Broa being out is a shame, to be honest. But then again, why did he go out to the internationals? In my opinion, he shouldn't have done anyway. But we move. I prefer the tough fixtures. We are thinking to win tomorrow. We respect Arsenal. It's a great team. It's going to be tough because they are doing a great job. Very good team, but we are confident. So, he's setting the right mindset of the players. Go out, be confident. We're Chelsea Football Club, best team in London. London is blue. London is blue. Okay, what anyone says, go and play your game and take it to them. Yeah, they're a good team. Yeah, they've got a good manager. Yeah, they've got Saka and Martinelli and players that can cause problems. Yeah, of course, we know that. But let's go and give them some problems, man. Let's go and give them some problems. Raheem Sterling's in form. I want to see that, Raheem. You haven't kicked ball since international. Get yourself on that pitch and run your blimmin' arse off. Be direct. Take them on. Cause them problems. Jackson, if he starts tomorrow, step up. Link up, play well, try and run in behind. I know it's going to be hard against Saliba and Gabriel because they're very strong, they're very quick, they're hard to get around, but you're physical. You can give them problems. Cole Palmer, if he's fit tomorrow as well, playing off the right. We know Zinchenko likes to float into the middle of the pitch. Go for it. Use the wing, hog the wing, make him not have to want to think he can just go into the middle and not worry about his position. Cause them problems. Cause them problems. That's what I'm saying. We're going to talk about it tactically soon because I really want to break it down and try and work out what options we have to try and really hurt Arsenal in this game. Where are we? Amazing memories at PSG with Mick Arteta. When you connect with a person like him, we share the values and passion of football. He's part of my family. The day he arrived in Paris, he spent a lot of time together. What he is doing doesn't surprise me. He thinks, and again, Arteta's doing very well. He was given the time. He was backed by the board. They didn't sack him when they were finishing 3 times in a row. It's not only bad luck injuries. It's always the history of players. Sometimes we can assess. We can arrive. When we arrived here to see every single situation, it's sometimes too many. There's too many factors that can influence. We are professionals trying to find the best metrics. So yeah, he's talking about in a little bit more details about injuries being bad lucks, or I get that. So in theory, goes on to talk about Mikel Arteta a bit more. It's going to be really nice. My love for him is there. His family. It's going to be strange, but we are very competitive as coaches. When you go to play, we want to win and destroy the opponent, and that's the aim, right? Destroy the opponento. Guys, keep tapping the screens if you can as well. Time to show the Battle Club what Chelsea Football Club is about. I think we're going to get better. I think we're going to batter Arsenal. That's what we got here. Mudryk was 62 million. Yes. Striker in Jan, potentially, probably, yeah. We would probably need it. Just waiting to see what else they're asking him. What else are they going to ask him? What else are they going to? We've got the panel coming in as well, guys, by the way. The panel will be joining us very soon. We'll have the panel join us very shortly as well. Just trying to refresh the page, guys, see if we can get any more information on the press conference. I don't think there's much more to say. We know that he's going to assess Nico, Disassi, James. We know Broha's out. Everyone else is available, barring the ones that are out long term. I don't really think. I just want to know if there's anything else said. Or is he done? That was 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. So a new one should come through in a second. If it ever wants to come through, which it ain't. And Kunku, Oshiman, Cam. Kunku, Cam, and then Oshiman. Is that what you're saying? Playing Kunku, Cam, and Oshiman. I don't know. I think there's a bit of a weird love for Conor Gallagher. And I mean, I don't say weird because it seems like every manager seems to have their fixations about having players in the team that just run. And he has improved his game, by the way. He has improved his game. I just don't like him playing too much in the 10, or actually whatsoever, to be quite honest with you. Come on, anything else or what? What's going on? Right. He's really young, but a great talent. Maybe tomorrow we will have the possibility to play. It's a difficult to judge when a 9-year-old came from a different league. He needs to adapt to the club like Chelsea, who can compete. We really believe in him. Who are you talking about here, Poch? Who are they talking about? Who are they talking about? Who's he referring to? Does anyone know? Who is he referring to, man? Who is he referring to? Mudryk. He's talking about Mudryk, is he? He's talking about Mudryk. Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto. It wasn't a red card. It's crazy. He's going to be good for the club. He is. He is. And do you know what? I keep saying it. Malo Gusto is one of the players this so far that's impressed me out of our signings. I like Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto is a great replacement for Reece James, who seems to be injured all the time. A great replacement. What's going on now? When you're coaching Arsenal and showing what the team is showing, it's because he's one of the best coaches in the world. It's not only about being tactical; it's about you managing people, results, and media owners. He is. He's a bit of an arse, but he does manage them very well. And he's getting better. He's still very young, Arteta, to be fair as well. He's still very young as well. Penzo and Caicedo are frauds. What are you talking about, mate? What are you talking about? You're a fraud. Gusto, disaster. Bashide, trash players. I mean, Gusto's not disastrous. I think Gusto's been very good this season. Skills. Don't know what games you've been watching, mate. Baddy Shields not played. I don't even know if Baddy Shields start tomorrow, mate. To be quite honest, yeah, I don't think he will start. You just need to worry about your teammate. That's what I'm going to say. On the tougher matches, which we already know, we've got a very tough fixtures now, guys. Coming back into the game, we will look at the fixture list. There's a lot of games that Chelsea need to play. It's easy to prepare these type of games for the players, motivation-wise. The fans will help us. I don't say I like tougher matches more, but I enjoy it for sure. So he likes the challenge. Question really is, are we going to have a player up front? That's the real question. So here we go. Amanda Broha is being treated for an irritation on his left knee following international duty. Great. So we don't know how serious that is. It might just be that he's got a bit of swelling and he chills. Chalobah is under assessment this week and continue rehabilitation. Carney is the same, who picked up a recent injury. Ben Chilwell is the same. Wesley Fofana, Lavia, they're all undergoing their rehabilitation programs. And Christopher Nkunku as well, who we're expecting to get back. And, people like Nkunku and Lavia are going to feel like brand new signings to this football club when it comes to January. It's going to feel like we've just signed them. We haven't seen them all season. And, I do think the impotence changes. No, we're not back, bro. We're just trying, don't worry about us, man. We're just trying to find our feet, Well, we're just trying to find our feet. We'll be fine. Be very interesting to see how we are once we have a fully fit squad, if we ever get to that point, you know. And I think you guys are a little bit worried, personally. I think you guys deep down aren't sure how to predict with Chelsea. It's like, yeah, they're 10th. Yeah, we laugh for now. But I don't think you really deep down know what to expect with us. And I love it. I love it. I really do love it. Arsenal will get battered. What are you on about, mate? They're just Arsenal fan. They won the Lavio. You're very bored today, aren't you, Skills? You are very bored, bro. You are very bored sitting here trying to diss Chelsea, mate. Stop waffling. Doesn't matter where Lavia is. When Lavia decides to come into Chelsea, I'm pretty sure he'll be fine. Don't you worry about Chelsea. Yes, Jay, what you saying, the boy? Go on, tell him. No, why should I worry about your team when everyone needs to worry about us? Why we got to worry about you? Why should we worry about you? I mean, you're playing quite well this season. You're playing quite well this season, but there's a long way to go. Still don't think you have a DM that you need to sort out, but we all got our own little teething issues. But you started well, yeah. Started well. Big up Jada boy. Can't even say that they won the Lavio or the guy hasn't even played. I know, it's just don't listen to rivals. That's all I'm saying. Don't listen to them. There's nothing like there's they haven't got much to say. All they can say is, "Oh, he's failed, that failed." But they worry about us so much and talk about us so much because they're unsure. They don't know what to expect with Chelsea Football Club in the next year or two, and I love it. I love it. M3 exactly. That's why they won't. They won because man can't even play. Skills. Go and win a trophy, bro. Go and win a major trophy and come back to us. You guys are supposedly meant to be in your primes now and doing your bits, mate. Go and win something. Come back to me. Until then, stop talking. Don't come and talk to people at Chelsea. You can't do that still. Well, it's being assessed, tier 1. It's being assessed. They've not confirmed. It's not confirmed yet. Guys, nearly 100 people here as well. Everyone keeps smashing the likes if you can as well. And we go from there. Doesn't matter. Players get injured all the time. Doesn't mean it's the end of the world, does it? They just started. Relax, mate. I'm spending it. Well, why does it bother you? Why does it bother you? Why does it bother you? It bothers you because for so long you were in our pockets, our back pockets for so long that you feel this is your chance to say stuff about Chelsea. But deep down, you've always been in our back pockets and you still are in our back pockets because you haven't won anything. What have you done? The last time you won, mate, you weren't even born, probably. The last time you won a major trophy, you weren't even born, Skills. You weren't even born, mate. That's what's even more funny. I love it. Nah, I know they want the attention, but you got to give it to them, innit? You got to sometimes have this. This is what football's about. This is what I like. I like it with Arsenal fans and Liverpool fans and that coming. And you can't even talk. You're the biggest failures in the last 10 years, Liverpool. This goddess of a 11 team that they were meant to have had that was going to be dominating English football for the next God knows how many years to only concede to Man City only win it once in the 6 or 7 or whatever years that they've competed with blimmin' Man City. Have some shame, man. Have some shame. You guys are pathetic. You can't even talk. Where was your dominance? That was meant to be your best team in how many years? And you only won 1 Premier League? And guess what? You didn't even get to see it because it was COVID. So in theory, does it even count that you've won a league? Because you didn't even see it. Stop waffling. Oh, you've been in our pockets for ages, mate. Living in our shadows. All of you rivals. Remember, the most successful team in English football in the last 20 plus years, and I'm sure City's probably catching that at the moment, is Chelsea Football Club. We've won it all. We won it all. Chelsea Football Club. We've won it all. You ain't won. Ram, you ain't even, mate, you can't talk, mate. We paid a quarter for the mate you paid for Enzo. What, as if Enzo's a bad player? As if, and then you try and bun down Enzo as if he's his bad player. Oh my goodness. This is why I laugh when rivals start doing this because they're worried. They're the players that they're worried about. They're the players that they're worried about. They're the players where you can't talk shit, Ram. Yous are the biggest bottlers, one of the biggest bottlers in the league going. And I'm not getting into it. Anyway, back to Chelsea Football Club. Let the rivals' tears continue. Let them. I'm expecting a salad. My goodness. That was the most dumbest comment I've ever heard in my life. Probably one of the most dumbest comments. I expect Salah levels from Enzo Fernandez, even though they're playing two different positions, as if he should score 20 goals a season. What is he on about? What is he on about? This is a problem with rivals. They don't think, they just waffle. That's why I don't listen to him. Anyway, going back to the Chelsea Football Club and the game. Mauricio Pochettino was asked if Caicedo and Mudryk are okay for the squad. Yes, both are in the squad. We'll decide later whether they have a chance for the start. That was confirmed, by the way, guys. So actually, this is irrelevant. But Caicedo, Enzo are both available, fit, ready, hungry, and ready to go. Raring to go. Raring to go. I just find it, I laugh. And it's still making me laugh in the chat now because they're talking about mid-table, and then I'm talking about Arsenal specifically here. They're the ones that's finished, what, 8th 3 times in a row, was it? Under Arteta? Sources close to Benoit Badiashile have told Football London he's ready for tomorrow. He is ready for tomorrow. Pochettino, he said he's going to be assessed. He could be available, but he's probably going to be on the bench. The players that are being assessed still for the game tomorrow is Nicholas Jackson, Disassi, Reece James. Broha is out for the game, so there's no Broha for the game tomorrow, guys. And it's a game that's going to, and we're going to talk about it tactically in a second. It's a game that's going to be interesting tactically as well, because there's, depending on who's assessed and fit and ready for tomorrow, we have a very good chance of being able to utilize, hopefully, Poch. Again, this falls on Poch, utilizing what we have on the bench, which hasn't been that pretty in the last couple of games, even though we've been winning. And when you read what Frank Leboeuf says, he says if Chelsea can keep on scoring like they did in the last 3 games, there's a chance that they can do something. Defensively and in the middle of the park, they can compete with Arsenal. It's only the front line that the Gunners have better players. I will be happy with a draw, but I think a win from Chelsea could be very good, a very good surprise and a good sign that they're going to get better. I will say 2-1 for the Chelsea is what Frank Leboeuf was there, and maybe there's a little bit of bias in it. Look, I'm going to the game tomorrow. You know, we're going to do team lineups next. I think how we win the game is about how balanced we are on the pitch and what we have available. And why I stress about Nicholas Jackson having to be fit and been playing is that obviously we have no Broa. And if we don't have any strikers against Arsenal, I think it's going to disrupt the balance of what we've been trying to do the last 3 games. And having a Broa up front, having a Jackson up front has helped with the balance in what we're trying to do moving forward with the 2 wingers off the side and in the 3 in the middle. We're going to talk about it, more tactically in a second, but there's individual players in this team that again I expect to step up. And if Chelsea are going to do well tomorrow, I'm going to highlight some. Not all of them have to turn up. Don't get me wrong, all of them have to turn up, but there's going to be players that need to be highlighted, which we're going to do in a second. And then we're going to bring in the panel and get the panel in because it's been a while. Nearly over 100 people in the building. How are you guys? Nice to see every single one of yous. To be honest with you, I predicted a draw. I predicted a draw a little while ago. We'll get into score predictions later, but I did say a draw. Let's quickly go into what I think is going to be Poch's lineup, and then we're going to talk about it tactically, what I think we can do, how can we line up and oppose ourselves on them. So, Sanchez is one, I don't think he's been spoken about enough in what he's done at Chelsea so far. And there's an article, if you've not seen it, on the BBC about Sanchez and not only the comparison with the stats, but also with the eye test. And he he's look, when he came into Chelsea, did we think he was, a major upgrade on Kepa? No. But he brings something different to Kepa, something that we've missed for a very long time in the goal. And that's the authority, the control, bit confident from corners. But not only from corners is he assertive, he's assertive from free kicks. He's also assertive from when um, opposition teams attack down the wings and cross balls in. His positioning, understanding his positioning of when to catch and sniff out danger is very good. His one-on-one saving has been very good. He's had that odd moment where we're like, well, could he have saved it? Could he have not from point blank? Yeah. But he's quite an all-round balanced goalie. And it seems like he's slowly picking up and learning more at Chelsea and getting better. But time will tell. From what I've seen of him now, he deserves to start. I think he plays. Big up Chelsea perspective. How you been, bro? Yes, Andre, how are you, brother? Nice to see you all. Big up everyone, man. Nice to see you all. I know it's been a while. I've been out in a while, but I'm back, guys. I'm back. I am back. So then it goes to the whole thought of the back. And obviously, if Axel Disasi is fit, then I think Cole will be up against Saka. I think Silva will be there. They've changed all the cards here. Completely changed all the cards. But anyway, not been on here in ages. Axel Disasi. And then I'm going to make a wild call here. I don't think Reece James starts. I think there's a good shout for Milan Gusto. I think there's a good shout for Gusto. Malo Gusto. And one of the key, and I said that we're going to go through the key positions to Chelsea winning in the game tomorrow against Arsenal. We're going to highlight them. It's not only that we all have to defend well, but there's two areas on the Arsenal side that we need to be able to defend well against. And Martinelli, he's in good form. He's playing well. He's doing his thing. He's direct. I like him as a player. I think he's a very, very, young, talented individual. I see what Malo Gusto done to Mitoma against Brighton, and I looked at the way that he dealt with him. And when you look at Mitoma and you look at Martinelli, they have this same sort of ability of dribbling and driving and that and trying to beat the player before they make the pass. And Malo Gusto dealt with Mitoma better than probably any other player I've seen this season, comfortably. And I know he hasn't played in a couple of games, but I am confident in this guy. I really am. He's shown enough to me physically. He's quick. He sometimes looks like he's out of position, but recovers so quick because of his speed. And I really think up against Martinelli, that would be a really interesting battle and one that we need to win. Gusto needs to win up against him. And I'm confident in Gusto. I back Gusto. Yeah, Kazi, how you doing, bro? I'm back, man. I'm back. I've been away, guys. I've been away a lot of the time because, yeah, I'm back in, man. I'm back in, guys. I know it's a little bit slow. We've got over 100 people here, though. We got everyone. Tap the screens, guys. Share it out. We're going to get the panel in soon as well. I'm just going through it tactically, where we need to win across the pitch if we are going to win tomorrow. Malo Gusto is one of the highlighted players that I think are going to be important into Chelsea's success against Arsenal tomorrow. Up against Martinelli. On the flip side of it, Colwill up against Saka. Now, that's for me is going to be a lot more, I'd say, harder. I think it will be. I think Gusto, I feel a lot more confident in Gusto up against Martinelli than maybe I do against Colwill up against Saka. And why I say that is because Saka gives players natural left backs problems. He's naturally, for me, one of the best young players in the world at the moment. He's very good. And that's obviously if he's available and he's fit, which I think he probably will be. Colwill is another young prospect, talented, offers a lot. He's a natural centre back. He isn't a left back, but I'd rather have Colwill in a left back position than Cucurella. And why? Because I think physically Colwill can oppose himself on Saka. Where I think Saka will give Colwill problems in the game is if Saka receives the ball and is able to drive at Colwill and run it in and cut inside. That's where it will be a problem. Where Colwill needs to win against Saka, and eliminate Saka is making sure or trying to apply the pressure every time the ball is received into Saka. So every time Saka takes his first touch, the first person that should be in there hounding him or trying to intercept the ball or winning the ball and using his strength is Colwill. And Colwill has the strength to push him off the ball. Saka's a strong player, but Colwill physically, if he can be aggressive, and we've seen him be aggressive in other games, might be the best way of forcing him the other way. Because what you don't want is him turning around and running at you. And that's where the problems will combine. And again, another area where Chelsea will need to be successful in this game is Colwill against Saka. So Gusto versus Martinelli, Colwill versus Saka. Two important areas that we need to deal with well defensively to be able to hopefully, fingers crossed, obviously put a win in tomorrow. And I'll be watching. I'll be at the game tomorrow. I'll be watching them positions specifically on how we set up, how we press, what we do. And then it goes to the midfield. And the midfield's equally going to be as important. But there's going to be, in my opinion, areas, and this is how I think we're going to set up, by the way. This is how I think we're going to set up. This is what I think Poch is going to do. It will be the same three. It will be Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, and Gallagher. I think Gallagher will play more on the offensive, and Enzo will be, again, more, sit here. But you know what I mean. So say Gallagher's a bit further up here off the right, doing his thing. I think, obviously, Caicedo is going to be important. And I think watching him tomorrow breaking up the play and what he has to do very well is when the ball's received into Jesus, who I think will start up front, is obviously break the play and help defenders win the ball back quickly when the balls are received into him. And we know he can do that. He gets around a lot. He's looking sharp again. He's looking very good away on the international break again, and he looks ready. But equally, another area where we need to be, which is key for me, where we need to shut up shop, is Odegaard. And Odegaard will find themselves in between Caicedo and Enzo in these little pockets here, trying to receive balls and play in the Sakas and the Jesuses and the Martinellis. Caicedo's going to have a job tomorrow where I think he's going to have to, say monitor, but literally hound the hell out of Odegaard. I want Caicedo to do what Caicedo does best, probably the best in our team. Hound, win, get stuck in, be aggressive, bring energy in the middle of the pitch, win the balls back quickly. He's going to be equally as important. And dealing with Odegaard is a big thing. Enzo Fernandez is going to have to try and help a bit with that as well and make sure he wins the ball backs with him. But, all of them, even Gallagher, whoever it is that's there, we know Gallagher's off the ball pressing is probably his best attribute in the game. So, with two players that off the ball are very good at winning balls back in the middle, I expect us to be dealing with the Odegaards. I expect us to be dealing with Havertz if he starts, for example, or whoever plays in that position. We have players that need to win the ball back, be strong, and not allow too much pressure on our defence to the point that the midfield are losing the battles. Because if our midfield loses the battle, all the pressing goes on to our defence. Yes, Lewis, how you doing? I'm back at the bridge, bro. Lewis, I'm going to drop you a message, actually. I'm going to be at the game tomorrow early. So should we meet up, get some food and drinks, yeah? It's been a while, man. I've been away, ain't I? Let's get some food and drinks before the game. Go down there a bit earlier. So it's going to be very important for Caicedo and that to make sure that they deal with that. So equally, making sure Odegaard's kept quiet is the key for me. Colwill making sure he somehow presses high and wins the ball off Saka and doesn't allow him to turn. Gusto to do the same and make sure he matches Martinelli on the dribbles and wins the balls back, which I think he's more, technically gifted in doing because he's natural there. And then it falls to Enzo Fernandez. And Enzo Fernandez is going to be key tomorrow because when we do win the balls back and we do press and we do break and we want that creativity for the front three, he's going to be the guy that is going to be moving the balls quickly into the forward line. And obviously they're going to try and counter against him, make sure he doesn't receive enough of the ball because he can cause problems. But equally, we need a big Enzo Fernandez performance tomorrow, a really big Enzo Fernandez performance, not only off the ball, but on the ball. We need to see him spreading balls. We need to see him playing balls through the middle, making, when they're making runs, making sure that he finds them passes and doing everything that Enzo Fernandez does very well. A bit like what Odegaard does, but obviously Enzo for Chelsea. So these are things that, yeah, I will. I'll give you a shout, bro. I'll give you a shout. So these are all again equally important positions, and then it goes to the front three, and this is what I think Poch is going to do first. Listen, Nico Jackson's being assessed at the moment, but again, with Brower out, I think he's going to be forced into playing. I said the same thing about Brower when he first played in a while against, was it Fulham, when he scored? Everyone was saying, no, he won't play. I said, Potter's got a habit of forcing players who are injured or have been injured and are now say available or in the team into teams. He does not like playing players out of position. And you go look back in history with Harry Kane and what he used to do with him in the finals with the Champions Leagues and things like that. He always used to force players back in. As soon as they were back, he'll just play them. He did it with Brower, and I think he'll do the same with Nicholas Jackson if he's clear. Once he's cleared for the assess tomorrow, I think he will be available. I think he'll have to be available. So I see Nico Jackson up front. On the right, Cole Palmer's fit, by the way. There's no injury to Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer will play. Equally, I think what could have been interesting is having Cole Palmer in the 10 here and then playing a more of a direct Madueke on the right. Why I say that is because Zinchenko's got a habit of falling into the middle or just, drifting into the middle. And that's going to leave a lot of space on the right here for whoever it is, Cole Palmer, Madueke, to be direct and hurt the defence. If you've got someone that is very direct, and I'm not saying Cole Palmer ain't, I just think that Madueke hogs the wing more than what Cole Palmer would do. Cole Palmer's more of a player that will receive the ball, turn, look to play balls into the middle, and then link up play and sort of drift in, which will help Zinchenko if he's sitting here anyway. But if you've got a Madueke that hogs the right constantly, that gives Zinchenko problems because he can't then go and aid Declan Rice. And Declan Rice will be alone in that midfield, in my opinion. And that's why I think we've got to stretch this Arsenal team. We've got to not allow them to be compact, but also stretch them out. Make them have to have these one-on-one battles with us across the pitch. And that's why I think if Cole Palmer plays, the instructions should be hold the wing, be direct, and make Zinchenko have to cover his position, not allow him to float into the middle. Have it its own goal. And then it goes to who plays on the right. People say Mudryk, he looks really good and whatever, and I get that. Mudryk would be, in my opinion, I think would be good for this game. But I don't think you cannot play Raheem Sterling right now. I think Raheem Sterling, and I was talking about the most important players on the pitch for me tomorrow. I said Colwill, Gusto, Caicedo, Enzo from a distributing point. And then out of the front three, the most important person for me is Raheem Sterling. Because Cole Palmer will do what Cole Palmer does, which is create, move the ball forward. I don't have that problem with Cole Palmer. I think he's effective. But what we've seen of Raheem Sterling in the last couple of games is a different Sterling that we saw last season, a more direct Sterling, a more creative Sterling, a Sterling that's contributing to goals, that's scoring goals. That's scoring goals. And the way he has been playing, I think we could tear apart Ben White. If he's on his game and he's doing what he needs to do, he will tear apart Ben White. I am telling you now. Ben White will get teared and ripped apart if Sterling plays the way he's been playing. And I think it's important he does that. But equally, if we don't, and I think this will be the lineup tomorrow. I really do. I think this will be the game against Arsenal. We'll play in this position. There'll be different roles required. But if it was to be brave and really do something different, and I don't think he'll do this, by the way. I don't think he'll do this. He could play, and again, this don't really help because the 4-2-3-1s are crap on it. This is crap. What he could do is drop Cole Palmer in there, put Enzo there, move that across, put Sterling on the right. So that equally gives Zinchenko even more problems, in my opinion, because he's so direct. He will make you have to go backwards because he's so high up the pitch, and then on the other side, just throw absolute sheer pace and the confidence of Mudryk off the left against this Arsenal team. I mean, that's offensively strong. That's offensively very strong. The issue you have there is maybe midfield and defensively, because when we don't have the ball, you're gonna. I mean, Cole Palmer showed a lot of good abilities tracking back in the 10 and winning the balls and tackling and doing his bit. So, yeah, it could possibly work. But Enzo and Caicedo would have to be more defensive. And then you're not playing Conor Gallagher, who Pochettino seems to absolutely love at the moment, and play every time. So I just don't see Conor Gallagher not playing. And if he did, is he going to drop Enzo? No, he's not going to do that. So the only way you fit all three of them in is by playing that 4-3-3. And that's the truth, well and truly. So, and Gallagher's going to play. He's going to play, man. This is the type of game where Gallagher will play, winning balls and trying to break up play and being a headache and whatever else. So, tactically, it's going to be important. Just going to quickly link to panel. Fats wants a link as well. Big up Santiago. How are you, man? Mudryk is a hard worker as well. He is, but he is the aim, is he? It's in between with him, in my opinion. Good to see you. Let me just quickly message. Right, cool. So we've got the panel coming in a second. Keep tapping the screens, guys. Let's see what you guys have got to say in the chat. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think do you agree with what I said tactically about? I'll be disappointed if no Arsenal player leaves the pitch injured. Cuzzy. 1 billion and man playing Gallagher to finish 10th. Bobby's not happy. This is the best thing Chelsea does other than play football. Hey? I'm all well, Santiago, bro. How are you, man? Nice to see you as well. I hope you're good, man. We are waiting for the panel. But yeah, like I said to you guys, I think this is final. Oh, bro. Hassan.
Yes, Jem. How you been, man? Long time no see.
I know. How's everything, mate? How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. And I'm just glad that the international break is a bit over because, let's be honest, a lot of the games were pointless and it's a bit boring. But what a game to come back to. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, from the lineup that I see there, I can't really argue with it. I think that'll probably be the lineup that we're going into it. I think the squad as a whole, I think this is going to be a real test, these fixtures. And I
Yeah,
think
100%.
these fixtures, and especially Arsenal, we show how far apart we are from top four or how far we are from. Because let's be honest, Arsenal are going to be the team that's going to challenge. Whether we like it or not, whether we hate to admit it, they are going to challenge City for the league because if they don't, no one will. And yeah, it's going to be a real test. I want to see how they go against the Arsenal press when one of our defenders has the ball or one of our midfielders are switching it. Because usually it'll be Saka or Martinelli or one of them pressing down the channels. It's from top to bottom. The question mark is what we're going to do up front. I think the biggest issue was, I think, before the international break and before the Burnley game, how many shots did we have? 30, 40 and only like one or two goals. Yeah, so it's going to be the consistency, whether or not they score up front or if they end up capitalizing on the chances. But it's going to be a real tough match tomorrow.
Well, we create different series. We're scoring goals now. Yeah, we're creating chances, but at least we're putting them in the back of the net. The last 3 games, we've scored more and more and more goals, which is a good thing. But we're relying on specific individuals to do that. Sterling, whoever, Jackson, whatever, coming in.
Yeah.
Palmer's and that. So tomorrow's game is going to be all down to the big thing that we always question about Chelsea. Are we going to take our chances? Are we going to put it in the back of the net? We will make chances. When you look at the XG of Chelsea, I think we're 3rd in the league. Funny enough, we do
Fourth.
create 3rd or 4th. Yeah, we create chances. That's not a thing. I mean, Fats, we're going to the game tomorrow. This is a big game to return back from international duty. How do you feel about this one? It's a big one, isn't it?
I can't lie, yeah. I'm different than yours, Jim, because this game alone, for me, it's all about that progression, on the game basis. Last couple of games, especially against the Brighton B team, Fulham away, Burnley away, we should have put this team away, and I feel like we lost all the points that we should have earned because of the horrible month that we had on September. And yeah, man, the fact that we got Arsenal tomorrow as well, like it's just kind of added to the pressure that um, if we lose this game, it kind of ruins our momentum. But even before this game, it kind of like I wish we could have a match during the international break period. But at the end of the day, like um, we are, we are gonna be going to this game in on the back foot in some sense, just purely because on the paper they should be winning.
Yeah, it is a game where I think we are the underdogs. I think we have to look at it like that. They are it have been in a lot much better form than us, not only for this season but of last season as well.
Mm.
Pressure's going to be on them to do, do most of the damage. But I look at the last game we played them at home. It took a Gabriel. It was the weirdest goal. It was from a corner, like a Gabriel tap in, and they had their best team on the pitch at the time to actually, put one past us in the game. And I mean, forward, it's a big game tomorrow. Obviously, coming back from international duty. Good to see you as well. I haven't seen you in ages. So it feels like it's been ages anyway. But um, we've been told by Poch that he's going to assess Reece James, Disassi, and Nico Jackson on the medical side just to see that they're all good for tomorrow. Broha's out, so we kind of do need to make sure Jackson's in. How do you look at the game tomorrow? Where do you think it's won and lost for us? And where do you think we've got a good opportunity of actually hurting them as well?
Mm. Yeah, it's again good to be back on the show. Good to see you. Good to be talking about Chelsea again after a few good results. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm excited. I'm actually excited going into a game. I haven't been as excited going into big Chelsea games for a long time, really, and it's been an even longer time since you really won a big game. I think the last big six team that we beat was Tottenham, and I was in that period where we were always beating Tottenham anyway, so it didn't really mean that much to me. But again, it's been a long time since we've put down a real marker domestically, being a big side. I think even just this year alone, we've only really beat Dortmund that were a side of any real prestige. So we need to end that run in these next few games coming up, and it'd be great if we can start that on Saturday. London rival, big game. And obviously, they themselves are coming on with obviously with a lot of confidence, being joint top of the league, beating Man City, breaking a duck against them. So it's going to be a tough game, big game. As for the injuries, or the players potentially going to be in the fray to be involved, Reece James absolutely cannot start this game. Obviously, I love Reece, club captain, one of the for me the best right back in the world when fully fit, but he's not been that for a while. Even when he's come back from recent injuries, he's been kind of forced back, and then he's been re-injured, which has been a big issue for him. So now that we have signed Augusto, he was an able replacement and done well in the 5 or 6 games that he's played since recently got injured in the first league game.
yeah,
Gusto's done well, and yeah, he's been suspended, but he can come back in. He should be fresh, fit, and ready to go in and be a natural right back compared to Cucurella, who was inverted and did a decent job there, but obviously is a square peg in a round hole. And as for Nico, obviously I did listen to you, Gem, and I know that it's not always ideal to start players who are coming off some sort of injuries, and we know Poch has a history for doing that. But tomorrow's a needs must. We have to start with Nico up front. As long as he's like relatively fit, it's not like we were like throwing him out there to just get injured. Which I don't think is going to be the case. I think I think he's fit enough to play and to start him, at least give us maybe 70, 80 minutes. And we have to start him because there's no Broha. And our press, which is a big important part of this game, where I think for me is going to be key for us to try and win the midfield battle. I think that starts with Nico up front, and Broja in the last couple of games. I don't think he's been pressing as great from the front, partly because of the injury. I think he's trying to maybe just sustain his legs a bit and not overexert himself. So I think Nico has to start just for that alone, but also his link up play. And against the last big team that we played in terms of like a prestigious team, I do rate Brighton. They're a good team, but I don't take too much joy in beating them because we should always beat a Brighton. With no disrespect to them, it's just facts. But when we played against Liverpool, I thought Nico Jackson had a great game up against Van Dijk and Konate. And again, now against other two more strong, fast, physical centre backs in Saliba and Gabriel, we need to see Nico have another similar performance where he's able to hold up the ball, running behind, make chances happen, and also hopefully be on the end of chances and then be clinical. So big game. And I will just say lastly that where the game will be won and lost is absolutely in midfield. I know there's been a lot of discourse recently on Gallagher and again being captain and everything, and people not being a big fan of him. I feel like I am slightly in that boat. I wouldn't have played him in games like Fulham, Burnley, think of Forest, Bournemouth, where I feel like we can afford to have one more attacking player on the pitch, play like a more natural 10 in Palmer and then get another winger on. But he's been all right in recent weeks as well. And I feel like games like this is absolutely where he should play. So the benefit of him already being playing a lot of games consistently is that he's fully embedded in the team. He's confident, and he'll go into this game and give us that bite in midfield that we absolutely need against Arsenal. So him, Caicedo, Enzo, again, they all have things to prove for me. They've had decent starts to the season to different degrees. Obviously, Caicedo started slower for us, but it's been good in recent games. Enzo's obviously class. Had a couple of iffy games recently, but again, regardless of all of that, we're playing big teams now. I feel like we can go toe-to-toe with a lot of these teams. Whether we score enough goals is another factor, but I don't feel we're going to go into these games and be having to play counter-attacking and have only 20% of the ball and all this nonsense. I feel we can go at these teams. And in midfield, we have to win those midfield battles. So against the likes of Rice, Odegaard, we'll see if Havertz starts in there. I hope he gets freaking booed to hell. But it's going to be a big game. We need our midfielders to stand up. So I'm excited to see just how they fare against one of the best teams in the league right now.
Yeah, and you said a lot there, and a lot of it makes sense, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I'm looking forward to the game. I'm going to be there anyway, and I think there are some areas that are going to be important. I think Jackson up against Saliba and Gabriel is going to be big. I think he needs to support him, but at the same time, I think he needs to help us, get up the pitch in cases, because I think they will dominate, and I think they will have moments where they'll create chances. It's going to be an interesting one. I keep saying balance. I think balance is the most important word that you can use right now about how we get set up tomorrow. I just feel like how we have been playing the last 3 games is this team as we're looking right now. I think he has to stick with it. And I know, but we were talking about playing 4-2-3-1s where we take someone like Gallagher off the team and we throw in, Palmer in the 10 and whatever, and maybe go from that sort of way. But I really don't think that's maybe the right idea in this game. I think legs is important in the midfield. I think with Declan Rice, they're going to have that. It's just who do they play with him? Is it going to be a Partey, a Havertz, and Odegaard? What they're going to do? That's the question. But it's there's so many options what we can do with the game. But same for Arsenal, they could change it a little. I don't see them changing too much because I think they always stick with what they know they're good at, and I think that's something that Chelsea need to learn. I think we now as a football club need to learn what works for us and what's And if we're winning the couple games under a specific formation with players playing in specific positions, then allow them to continue to do that rather than sometimes just alter it and change it, and then it disrupts what we have been used to being doing. I'm not saying that they can't do it, but you know what I mean. When you've got the flow and you're doing well, stick to what's been working right for the last couple of games. And I just don't think Poch is going to change much. I just think that the individual players on the pitch will have different missions or whatever, in terms of what they'll have to do on the pitch to be effective, which may be different. But in terms of formation, I think it'll be a lot the same.
No, I agree. I do want to actually ask you a question in terms of how you think the game's going to play out. Because you said that Arsenal will have periods where they may dominate and control a lot of the ball, and I feel like they will have periods. But in terms of the overall game, I don't feel like it's going to be a case where we're having to constantly play on the counter. And I think there will be times where we dominate a lot of the ball, and they're willing to be in a bit of a mid block and allow a team to just have the ball. Because again, in their big games this season, they had United. A lot of their possession was more just with Onana and the centre backs, fair enough. But Tottenham had a lot of the ball at the Emirates, and even obviously Man City had a lot of the ball as well. So I think for me, I predict them starting both Rice and Partey, and then Odegaard as well. So I think they're going to try and beef up that midfield and be comfortable at times, allowing us to have the ball and looking to hit us on the counter. So I feel like, honestly, possession-wise, I think it'll be roughly 50-50. But I don't know how you guys see it on the panel, but I'll go with you, Jem, first. How do you see the game playing out for the most part?
I think equally it's very important how we're both set up. I think I always hate games after the international break. They always seem to be very untidy sometimes, and hard, and players trying to find their feet again in their roles. And I just feel that they can't have that tomorrow. I think they have to come back and kind of continue. And when you listen to what Poch said about motivation, winning, wanting to win this game tomorrow, then being positive, understanding what we're trying to, what we want to try and do. I think Arsenal are going to have a lot of the ball early on. What I think will be the difference in us is how quick we win the ball off them and where we win it. Because when we talk about the midfield, Declan Rice gets the ball. A lot of times, and when I watched Arsenal, what they look to try and do is play in Odegaard. It's normal. Odegaard is the creator of the team. Odegaard tries to find spaces on the pitch. If you can intercept and win balls back from Odegaard or win them off the wing of Martinelli and Saka and then play on the break, that leaves them in a position where they're not organised. And it's how quick we respond once we receive the ball and how quick we get ourselves up the pitch is where I think we'll be effective. Because the way you break Arsenal down is press, win the ball back in key areas, but win it back where they're not in positions to be defensively organised. So then they're a bit like, and then that's what I think we have to do. I think we will have moments where we dominate the ball. We are a ball progressive team and we hold the ball and we like to build up ourselves. But where I think we'll actually be effective the most is actually winning the ball back from them in key positions. And then you've seen it like in the games against Fulham and whatever. Caicedo wins the ball back high, plays it into Gallagher. Gallagher plays it into Sterling. Bang, go. That's the kind of what I think we need to do, or I think will be the most effective way of hurting Arsenal tomorrow is by doing that against them. That's what I think we need to do, personally.
I agree. And even to that point, actually, even someone like Palmer against Fulham was winning the ball back a lot in high areas, and that led to the Broha goal. So again, if I look at just that lineup that you have there, which to be honest, I think will be the lineup that we see Saturday. I think Sterling's decent. Like he works quite hard off the ball, but I'd say like the other five are like great at pressing and winning the ball back. But Enzo to a degree as well. But like you look at Caicedo, Gallagher, great at pressing and winning the ball back. Nico Jackson again works hard, tirelessly for 90 minutes. Almost you can argue works almost too hard as a striker. And then even Palmer, like I've been really impressed with him. Again, I was thought big of him, especially with his dribbling and his playmaking as a 10. But strong, but also like his intelligence in terms of being able to intercept the ball, being in a position to cut past in lanes, like it's very, very good. And already I've seen him win the ball back 4 or 5 times in offensive areas. That's led to us countering. So again, like you said, Jim, it's a great point, and it's going to be a big key of this game if we can continue to win the ball back high. Because like you said, their defense may not always be set because we know how they like to have Zinchenko inverting with Rice. Sometimes they'll even have Zinchenko invert to the right side of Rice. So that's a long way for him to then travel back to left back to then get back in position. So if we can win the ball back high, again, there will be chances there. And then that's the big story really is, are we going to be able to be clinical and take our chances? So we hope so, man. We hope so.
It's a big if. It's a big if. I think we're not going to have any open play goals. We're not going to have score any goals from open play. But the only thing that we can do is kind of like pressuring them, make the mistake, get a free kick or corner kick, and then a goal might be coming from the set pieces.
When you said, right, they're gonna allow us to have possession and stuff. I really think that they're gonna hit us like what they did the last game. They'll go. They'll try to get a goal up, and then they'll sit back and allow us to work the ball, and they'll hit us on the break. I think that's what they've been doing for the last 3 head-to-heads, if I'm not mistaken. They scored the first goal. And then
but if you look at what opened it up was that's true. But then if you look at how them games played out, barring the one recent one where Gabriel
the dodgy one,
and again they didn't really. I thought we dealt with them quite well most of the game. That game, it was all down to individual errors. We got the ball. I think Jorginho plays it back to goalie, and then they fucking score. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of it is on us, and they will press at the beginning because that's Arsenal. They're going to try and win the ball and think, right, we've got to score as quickly as possible to like make ourselves feel more comfortable in this game. I just think at the same time, look at the players we've got on the pitch and how well our defence can play out from the back canal as well with Disasi in there if he is on the pitch. I think these are areas where we could actually potentially hurt them, even if they do try and do that. So if you want to come and press us. But if we find pockets. Be right that people like Disasi and Silva and whoever, Gusto, have the ability, even Caicedo, have the ability to play these balls into these pockets a lot quicker on the press. I think we can do that, So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I'm going to be there as well. I'm hoping, we do own one, don't we? we can't like we do deserve. We've got to beat him now. Yeah, we've got to beat him at some point. This is.
I think
Like, I just feel
we owe him a few, to be fair, but definitely one. At least
definitely
one, and
overdue,
hopefully
isn't it?
tomorrow.
It's overdue. We deserve that. I still think it's going to be a draw. I've said I just got a draw. I'm mad. And I think it's going to be partly to do with just the whole international thing coming back and
Yeah, same
trying
as well.
like
100%. It's not going to be like a 2-goal margin game. Like it's going to be like at least maybe one, maybe a draw at least. Like
I'd love it to be 2-3-1 or 3-0 and we smash them and pull them to pieces and really show because I don't think they've been. I'll be honest with you, I don't think they've been that good this season. Watching them,
I agree.
I don't look at them and go, oh my god, like this is scary Arsenal. Like this, like I look at them and I think, yeah, they're a stable team and they know what they're doing and whatever, but they're not really playing that well. They're playing to their strengths that they always do every season, which is the wings, Martinelli and Saka, and then through Jesus and whatever, they're just trying to feed balls into the box and then flood the box with players. That's what they do so well. But we're off the ball defensively. I don't think they're that. I mean, Gabriel and Saliba are solid at the moment. Watching them, they are. They're very good. But they're only very good because they don't get moved enough, in my opinion. They hold their positions very well. If you don't drag them out of position and move them and whatever, you're not going to cause players like them problems because you know what I mean. Like you need to kind of pull them about a bit and get them having to come out. I think Zinchenko could be a problem for them tomorrow because if Zinchenko keeps going into the middle, Cole Palmer's going to attack Gabriel and he's going to have problems, in my opinion. But
again, goes back to what I said, like make them make a mistake and push them into like give the ball away to a corner kick. That's the thing. Arsenal this season hasn't been that convincing, like you said, Jim. Like the only two games I can see, like, okay, fair enough. Bournemouth and PSV. That's it. They just lost to Lens a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you can't knock them because, look, I think these are the kind of games where both teams shouldn't need motivation. These are the big games. Poch talks about actually enjoying the big games, and his actual record against Arsenal, funny enough, is 3 wins and 3 draws at the moment.
Wait, Poch has never lost to Arsenal?
No.
At home, no. At home, no.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, that's a decent record, to be fair. I think with Arsenal this season, like they haven't been as exciting as like free flowing in the final third. I know Saka's got decent GA, but if you actually watch him this season, I don't think he's been as like electric as he was last season for large parts. Mostly Martinelli's been in and out of injury, same with Trossard, and then Jesus kind of have to play sometimes right wing striker, and obviously he's even had these injuries as well to begin the season. I don't think they just look as good with Nketiah starting. So I agree that they have not been as exciting, but I still feel like they've been like still very good though, especially defensively. And I think Declan Rice has played a huge part in that, and is making them a bit more solid at the back. And just even in midfield, like again, when we saw him come off against, I believe it was Tottenham, and then Jorginho came on and we saw the mistake he made instantly. And just feel like they don't concede goals like that if Rice is there. So I feel like he's a big part of their team. And that's why I do think, especially with the fact that it's the first game back from international break, Arsenal have been a bit more cagey at times, a bit more solid this season without being as like maybe free flowing and gun ho. And even ourselves defensively, we're a decent team. Like again, I think only we conceded the second least amount of goals in the league so far this season. You don't concede too many big chances really, outside the ones that we give away through our own mistakes, which you obviously can't afford to do against Arsenal. So I think it will be a low-scoring game. I do think it'll be quite open at times as well, though, in terms of the fact that both teams will want to play. So there's going to just have to be a lot of good defending on both parts.
I also think Gallagher has a big role tomorrow, and his best attribute, I think we can all agree on, is off the ball duties, chasing, hounding, being a headache, awkward player, always around you. I could see him hovering Rice up again, just literally, just wherever Rice goes, wins the ball, like in his face, not giving him time of ball, trying to win the ball from. I don't think Rice is going to like that. In my opinion, I think Gallagher's an awkward player to have running around chasing you for like 90 minutes. And I think that could be, if Gallagher's going to be the one that plays further forward, and I think he probably will out of him and Enzo, then I think his aim has got to be when he hasn't got the ball, make sure Rice isn't there to receive and be able to progress more forward with, and just basically hound him. Don't give him time on the ball. So
you know what, Jem? That's a great point. That's a great point, and like that's an amazing point actually, because when Rice has played as like an 8, as more like advanced, when it's been Partey holding or Jorginho holding, he's not looked as comfortable. And obviously, this is a guy who was a natural centre back,
Paulinho.
so he's not going to be like super pressure resistant on the ball. So
Mm.
if he's having to play a bit further up and have to receive the ball sometimes with his back to go in and try and turn, Gallagher can absolutely be that one that pounces on him, wins the ball back, and then transitions in attack. And again, Gallagher has played quite a bit at times on the right hand side, combining with Palmer and whatnot. So he will be naturally on that side of Rice and plays on the left. Obviously, Odegaard's going to always be on the right, and then Partey started as a DM. So that's a great point. And honestly, yeah, if you have your Poch, you are looking at Gallagher to be the one that is constantly on Rice's toes, because Rice isn't, again, he's not that pressure resistant, so we can absolutely win the ball back there and start our own counter attack.
He did it to Paulinho very well, if you remember. I actually thought Paulinho was very ineffective in the game against Fulham because of what Gallagher was doing so well. So this is something that I can imagine Poch as one of the key. And again, the formation might look the same, and it's not always about just the formation. I think he will stick to this. It's about the instructions that he gives to players and what they need to do on the pitch, which is going to be key in the difference in us being successful. Don,
Facts.
what you saying, bro?
Well,
How
go
are
on.
you?
Big up,
How's
boys,
life?
man. Long time, man.
Looking forward to the game tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, me and you are gonna be there. To get drinks beforehand and that. Man, like Fatsy, make sure you join us tomorrow. But yeah, it should be a good game, man. Should be a good game. I think it'll be tighter than what people think. You know what I'm saying? I think it will definitely be a lot tighter than what people think. I think in midfield, Arsenal aren't facing Jorginho and Kovacic anymore. We've actually got a proper pivot now. Do you know what I'm saying? As much as I don't rate Gallagher on the ball, off the ball, he's actually won the ball the most times in midfield in the final third, in the whole of the league. So, like the point that you made there, Jem, about him pressing, he's gonna be really key, man. Because everything that you said forward about Declan Rice not being press resistant, I agree with it, man. I agree with it as well. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it's definitely going to be really key for us in that midfield. And one thing I noticed between him and Palmer when we played Fulham is even though Palmer was playing on the right, they were rotating quite a lot. So Gallagher was finding himself on the right-hand side, covering that space when Palmer would go into the midfield, trying to create from the midfield. So it's going to be good, man. I think we're seeing a lot of chemistry being built between the midfield now. Now that we're seeing Enzo a little bit deeper, he needs to be dictating the game like he's been doing the past few games. And Arsenal fans, I know right now they're looking at it like, Odegaard, Partey, and Declan Rice, that might be their midfield, but they haven't even seen that midfield for more than 5 games. All of a sudden, Declan Rice is this world-class 8. Do you know what I'm saying? For me personally, I think he can play in that role, but I don't think he can play in that role the same way like a Paqueta can. Do you know what I mean? The same way like a Maddison can, for example. So even if they do go with that midfield, I'm not scared, if that makes sense. I think our midfield can definitely hold their own. And at the back, I think we're quite solid at the back, man. We've only conceded 1 more goal than them. Do you know what I'm saying? I think this game's going to be won or lost depending on who takes their chances. That's how I kind of look at this game. I don't think they're going to come to the bridge and blitz us. I think there's going to be certain parts in the game where we've got momentum. They're on the back foot. And the same thing with them as well. But this game's going to be won and lost up top, man. I think the players need to take responsibility in front of goal. Please, when we create a big chance, just put your foot through it. Do you know what I'm saying? Put your foot through it, man. And I'm praying that the atmosphere at the bridge is going to be rocking because these lot need to get humbled, Jem. I'm tired of them, bro. I'm tired of them. Do you know what I'm saying? I know we haven't been picking up the results and that, but when you actually watch our performances, bro, there's definitely improvements that could have been made from the beginning, but you have to look at it tactically as well. Poch was playing 2 attackers, bro, at the beginning. Do you know what I'm saying? And now he's started to bring in certain guys like Cole Palmer into the team. You're seeing Sterling taking a little bit more responsibility. You're seeing Gallagher playing further up, not in the pivot. These are little tweaks that he's made, and it's helping us because now we're actually creating clear-cut chances. The big problem that I had with us before is that these chances that we were creating were scrappy. Do you know what I'm saying? I know Jackson had a goal against Forest, a chance against Forest where he kicked it over the crossbar in that year. But if you look at the chances that we were creating at the beginning, they were very scrappy, bro. Now Palmer is actually plating it up for a lot of the attackers. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think we're in a good position now, man, to face Arsenal. I definitely wouldn't have been as optimistic a few weeks ago, like based on what I was seeing and what I was seeing from Poch. But now I think he's starting to realize that, listen, this is what I need to do. This is who I need to start. And again, the players are taking more responsibility. So I think it's going to be a lot tighter than what people think.
Yeah, and I wanted to just go individually quickly talk about players on the pitch. Now, right back's a key one because Reece James is coming back into the team. I still don't think he'll start, but there's chances that he might. Malo Gusto, who Poch said should never have got a red card. He's still very annoyed with the fact that he got sent off, and he still thinks that Gusto is a very important key player, which I agree. I think Malo Gusto, in my opinion, is one of our best signings this season from what I've seen.
Yeah.
how important is it his matchup against Martinelli, and who would you go with? Obviously, Reece James is not fit. Malo Gusto hasn't played in a couple of games.
Yeah.
How would you go with it? I mean, when you look at the ability of each player as well, who would you match up against him with Martinelli?
Yeah, I would start Gusto for this game, man. I think Reece James is obviously our best right back and offensively really good. I think he's better than Gusto going forward. His final ball is definitely a weapon that we can use going forward. But for me, I'm just skeptical because we haven't seen Reece James play since Liverpool. Do you know what I'm saying? As much as he's been training, match fitness is something completely different to scenarios that you get in training. And Gusto, defensively, bro, he hasn't put a foot wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? One on one, very, very good. You know, he keeps his position quite well. Even when he gets beaten, he always manages to get back. And I don't know if you guys have realized, he likes that slide. He likes that slide tackle where he just wins it back. He times it quite well. His timing's really, really spot on. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, Martinelli is more dangerous than Saka when it comes to wingers in the league, right? For me, he's more dangerous. If we play Cucurella right back, sorry, it will be long, Gem, because you can skip past that guy.
You can't do that.
Or you can skip past that guy. As much as Cucurella's improved, you can definitely skip past him. So for me, I would start Gusto because, you know, he's been training with France. He played for France as well. Obviously, before his red card, he was playing for us. So yeah, don't change it, man. Bring him back into the lineup, and if you've got to bring James on for the last, I don't know, 20 minutes, do that. But I don't see the need to rush him, man. I don't see the need to rush him for this game. Gusto's been playing well.
Ads, what do you think of Colwill against Saka? There's obviously another big key area if we're going to be successful tomorrow. Saka is, for me, one of the best young players in the world at the moment. He is just getting better and better. Colwill's one on the way up, being played out of position, but playing the position quite well, offers us different. It actually gives us a little, from an offensive point, gives us something different with the little like whippy curl. You know, like he wraps his foot around the ball and it just sort of goes over it just seems to work quite. Even with the goal for Mudryk, for example, he has that ability of being able to pick balls out. But from a defensive aspect, do you worry a little bit with the whole Saka versus Colwill thing, or do you think Colwill just needs to be on him all the time, pressing him and winning the balls back? What would you do?
In terms of 1v1s, I'm not really worried at all, to be honest. Again, Saka, like we mentioned, is a good player. Again, his GA this season suggests that he's having a great season, but I've watched him, and him himself, he's not having an amazing season. He's not as electric as he was last season. Again, I saw him get pocketed by Dalot against when he played against Man United. And a decent start against Udogie, got him in a yellow card, but then for 60 minutes, he did nothing against Udogie. So, again, I don't look at it in terms of 1v1s, he's going to be a massive threat. Of course, if he is allowed to cut inside and the centre mid on that side, which will probably be Enzo, or maybe Caicedo who's dropping in, doesn't cover it, and obviously he's got the ability to either combine with Odegaard or get shots off, which we don't want him to do. So with Colwill defensively, I'm not too worried. I think he's been very good. There's times where he kind of doesn't defend like a natural fullback. One thing you can see is a little bit having to get used to that role, but I think he's grown into that role. And obviously his passing's always been amazing, and we're starting to see that actually he's starting to be able to implement that passing, the way you can fizz a ball from left back. And again, the assist for Mudryk, I think, is criminally underrated. Like, for me, that's the best assist we've had this season by far.
It was the weight of the ball,
the vision. Yeah, and even I don't think Mudryk was running into space, but again, Mudryk always runs in it. But I don't think he even thought he was on like that, and it was so perfect how he managed to get it over the centre back, but just in range for Mudryk to take a first touch and then go in on goal. So
do you know what it is for?
Was improving a lot.
Sorry, but before you round up here, it's the way he floats the ball, bro. Like, it was perfect. Like you said, the weight of pass was just perfect. He just floated it in that space, and Mudryk barely had to do anything. He just had to run onto it. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've got carry on, bro.
Yeah, no, yeah. So again with Colwill, I'm confident with him that he'll do well against Saka. I think at times defending back post crosses, he's been a bit iffy-ish, and maybe it's just he's not as super comfortable doing that from wide areas compared to when he's just as a normal CB. But other than that, I'm confident with Colwill that he'll do a job on Saka.
Yeah, interesting one. Quick one on Caicedo as well. Seems to be finding his feet again, looking fit. He looks a lot different to what we saw at the beginning when he came to where he is now, doesn't he? He just looks so much more like the Caicedo that we're used to seeing at Brighton as well, and he's becoming very important. And he's playing more of that deeper role for us, and he's doing what Caicedo does and whatever. And we still got Lavia to come back in the team as well, which could just be even better once he's fit as well. But how important is it between him and Odegaard tomorrow, or him and Havertz if he's playing? How important is he going to be in the energy and breaking up the play? And actually, I think the midfield's key in winning. You win the midfield. I think you win the midfield against Arsenal, and you semi done a job on them. Going into them.
Yeah, 100%. If we can keep whoever starting Rice, Odegaard, probably I think they're going to start Jorginho because I think Partey just came back from the injury. So because we haven't seen Partey this season yet, but I think he wanted to go slow with Jorginho first, and then if he does that, I think it's a key point of a battle with Caicedo in the middle. And the way that I like with Caicedo is that it's the way that he won the ball. He always wins the ball and then just bombs it.
Looks forward.
Yeah. And he loves playing against Arsenal. He loves playing against them, man. Last year at the Emirates, he was a big reason why they won that game. When he didn't play against them at away, when Brighton played at home, they lost that game, I think 4-2. So if you guys remember that game, he played. Yeah, they're wide open. He played against Arsenal at the Emirates at right back, in fact, but he was inverted into the midfield as well. And he was looking good, man. So I think now he's just kind of got used to the team a little bit. Again, building that chemistry between him and Enzo, and he's understanding what Poch needs from him, man. Because you've gone from De Zerbi to a new manager, you've got to understand what that manager expects from you. So yeah, now we're starting to see the Caicedo that we'll see at Brighton. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's definitely going to be important for us. And Odegaard doesn't like playing big teams away, either.
Yeah.
So
that is true. But just to add to that as well, like again, we're in the system era where a lot of players that they feel comfortable when they know exactly what the manager wants and they know, okay, I need to be here when this guy receives the ball. I need to position my body like this, etc. It's not like how it was 10, 15 years ago when I thought maybe Caicedo was one of those players, which is why he took him time to improve after the Potter. Then again with the Serbian and obviously maybe with us as well. I feel like we're seeing that game by game he's getting better and better. And people also need to remember that like these guys are humans at the end of the day. So when you make that big move, you're now the record signing in British football history. Your mom comes over, they do the whole like big story on you and your mom, and now you've lived up to our promise from early and playing for Chelsea now, and all these things. Like it's a massive story, and all of a sudden then you're thrown onto the pitch, and you have to deal with the fact that you're nervous, you're like kind of shy being around these new players. There's a lot of pressure on you. Remember, as soon as he came on the pitch, Schucher just gave him like one little nudge in the back, which is probably because he's now the most richest or the most expensive signing in Premier history. Like you wouldn't get that kind of attention from players playing for Brighton, so. You have to adapt to that. You have to adapt to your new surroundings, and I think Caicedo's now going with confidence, game by game. And like the brother said earlier, like he always wants the ball, and I love that in defensive midfielders. He always wants to play, and I think guys like Enzo ahead of him, and then find him early.
Good as well, isn't
it?
And when he gets it, he makes that when he releases it, he's always making that angle to receive it again. Or to take away the opposition. That's one thing about him. His movement is A1. And people forget that Caicedo did not have a preseason. How many times did we come on here, guys, saying we need to sign this guy before we go on tour? Because he needs to actually start to learn what is going to be expected from him in this system. And then we ended up signing him towards the end. Like we signed him, a week before, 2 days before we played Liverpool, right? Was it 2 days before we played Liverpool, wasn't it? We signed Caicedo.
Yeah, literally 2 days, yeah.
Yeah, 2 days before. So he literally had no preseason. So it's not like a Declan Rice who's literally been there from the beginning. This is someone that clearly had to bed in and understand everything. Yeah,
it's the whole game. The thing I see slowly, and again, it's still early doors, and I think this period of games that we've got coming up is key because it's big games. We've got some real hard games coming up. Yeah, but it's the whole understanding of your game plan and having a manager that implements that into you. What we haven't had for the last couple of seasons is a manager that when we go out, I can see, he can even see, or even the players understand what their actual game plan is or what they're meant to do in the positions they're in. We haven't had that for a while. I used to watch us and go, what are we doing? What are we trying to do here? What's the game plan? How are we breaking teams down? How do we defend when we haven't got the ball? How do we move the ball quick? Like, what's the, where's like the transitions, the quick, we had nothing. There was no game plans in the past when I watched Chelsea. When I watch us now, it seems like the players, even Gallagher's improved in his overall ability, but also he looks better because he understands the game plan, what he needs to do when he's on the pitch. Caicedo's the same. He's now getting used to it. He understands what Poch wants him to do, and it's working. And people like Sterling are another good example because Sterling was getting hounded. And I remember sitting there, I think with Don, saying to people, we need to wait with Sterling. Like, just give him a bit of time with a manager, that and the other. He's going to play. Yes, it's still early doors. But even when you look at someone like Raheem Sterling, all right, he's experienced and whatever, but even he looks better. Why does he look better? Not only because he's performing better in himself, but there's a game plan. They know what they're doing when they're all on the pitch now. And that's the difference, you know. And and that's why we look better on the eye in the last 3 games, because they're now slowly understanding it. And that's why I don't want him to change it too much, because once it's working, and it has done for the last 3 games, don't need to do that intricate change in player and just put someone else in that hasn't played in a while, because by doing that you affect the balance, and then we have that problem again.
Yeah.
So just play with what we know for now.
And what it is, Jem, as well. Like, this is why I kept screaming for Cole Palmer. Like, Poch has come out and said it himself that Cole Palmer is basically acting as the link between the midfield and the attack. Do you know what I'm saying? It's no surprise that since he's been in, bro, we haven't lost a single game. He's got 3 assists in 3 games, pretty much. He's created 3 big chances already. 3 less than Havertz did the whole time at Chelsea. Havertz created 6 big chances in 3 years at Chelsea. He's created 3 already, right? In 3 starts. So Cole Palmer's going to be key for us going forward as well, man. He's definitely one guy that I'm looking at who has to stay in that 11. It's so effective, man. And I was saying this in the summer. I was getting laughed at. Oh, he hasn't even scored a goal in the Prem. I said, bro, when I've watched this guy, he's never ever looked out of place. Do you know what I'm saying? Techie guy, so intelligent. One thing I always described him as, it's so polished for a 21-year-old, and everyone can see it
and
now.
He can get better.
I'm glad that, and he can get better as well. And I'm glad that we can all experience Cole Palmer together, because this is a player that I always rated, but it was just a shame that Pep didn't fancy him more than others. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's definitely going to be key for us going forward, man.
There's one player I do want to focus on now, though. Sorry, Jen, but there is one player that I want to focus on now. Obviously, for me again, like I said, it's an exciting game to watch, because I want to see how our midfield does against Enzo. Like I said, again, the last big team that we played against was Liverpool, and I thought like we did win that midfield battle. Like, it was hard early on, but again, Enzo and it was Gallagher that day. They did well. And obviously, we played against Brighton with a changed team, but we did well again in that big game too. But Sterling, I want to see Sterling turn up against a big team, man. Like, again, I wasn't a big fan of his signing. Obviously a great person. Done big things in the Premier League as well with Man City, and obviously has performed at Euros for England, being their best player. Probably the best individual performance from an English player we've seen out of tournaments in maybe Owen, maybe Rooney. Like, it's been a while since we've seen somebody do that at that stage. So he's obviously got the pedigree. He's obviously on the big wages here. He is basically like our main player, even though I wouldn't want him to be that, but he is that now. And I think he's been our best player so far this season. There's been ups and downs for sure, but he's had some really good performances. I think West Ham away was a great performance. Unfortunately, he didn't get some assists in that game, whether it was from a penalty or just some chances he created. Obviously, he's great against Luton as well, and obviously amazing against Burnley.
You think he's been our best player so far?
I think so. When you weight it in terms of like how big some of the performances have been, like again, man of the match against Luton, man of the match against Burnley, probably our best player for me against West Ham. That's 3 out of the 6-7 games he's played that he's been the best player in the park for me. So again, there's been players who have been more consistent, because I think he's had some bad games in there as well, for sure. Obviously, he didn't play much against Fulham. He had a really bad cameo there, to be fair. But I think he's kind of like the main guy. The reason why I look at him is because, okay, West Ham, I'll give you that you performed against them, and they are a good team and they're doing well this season. But Luton, you were great. Burnley, you were great. But those, to me, are looking like relegation fodder. For me, Sterling, while, again, also, Jim, you make the point about players looking like they understand what they need to be doing this season in terms of there's a clear tactical plan. And with Sterling, it's clear that he's been asked more to drive with the ball, get the ball, pick it up, and just drive into space, drive into pockets, look to try either combine or just hit the penalty box and maybe either look for a cutback, maybe try and win a penalty, which he's done a couple of times already this season. So that is good, and there's certainly a clear improvement on last season. But where you really get your stripes is actually doing it against the big teams. And he was decent against Liverpool, but I want to see him be even better. He needs to be more than just decent against Arsenal. He needs to be our best player for me, certainly in the attacking aspect. Because like I said earlier, I think it's going to be an even game. We're both going to have possession. I think we're both good defensive teams. I think we both have great midfield. And obviously their attack is much more proven in terms of winning big games and being clinical, and having those guys who have the X factor or just are able to rise up in moments and win you games. And with us, we've not proven to do that, especially in big games. So Sterling needs to rise up. You're coming in with confidence after the Burnley game. You also have a massive chip on your shoulder being dropped for your country when other guys like Calvin Phillips, Matt Maguire are getting picked and are not playing, and you're playing well, you have a great performance and you're getting dropped again. You need to go and show people in the biggest games that you're that guy, and the platform is there. It's against Arsenal. Go out there, cook Ben White, cook Saliba, score a goal, make things happen in that game. So that's what I want to see. I think we all need to see that as Chelsea fans, because again, as much as I like him, I know that the fan base haven't fully grown to him. if I'm honest. And I think the way that you win the hearts and minds of Chelsea fans is you go and perform in big games, and there's nothing bigger than a London derby with Arsenal fans being loud as they are coming to the bridge, expecting to beat us and beat us comfortably. Let's prove them wrong, and let's have some guys make a statement in a game like this. So I'm hoping Sterling can rise up and be that guy for us.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and it goes on to the end because I need to actually go back to work in a second. But I need to ask you about your score predictions, guys. Let me start with Fats. What are you saying, Fats?
I'll go with 1-1.
1-1, yeah. Ads?
I reckon 1-1 as well. 1-1.
What are you saying, Hassan?
My mind's saying that Arsenal are gonna end up winning. But since it's a Chelsea chance, since it's all this, and I just want to be that one guy that says, I think we are going to get a result, and if we are, it's probably going to be a 1-0, even if it's a scruffy one. I'm hoping so anyways.
What are you saying, Don? Come on, we're going tomorrow. We're sitting next to each other, aren't we? Pretty much,
Yeah, man.
Yo, wait, 1 sec. Are you guys going to boo Havertz or not? We need to establish this now.
Huh?
Are you guys going to boo Havertz?
I'm shameless.
Yeah, Jem's gonna have his scarf, man. He's gonna have the Havertz scarf.
Jem ain't booing no one, bro.
I'm not sure.
He's gonna be chanting, "Oh, Kai Havertz." That's what he's gonna be chanting.
Listen.
This guy is not booing him. Listen, you know what's so funny? When his name gets called out, I'm gonna get it on camera. Watch.
Listen, you better not share his name.
Let me just say something with that. Since he moved to Arsenal, no one's even asked me this actually. Since he's moved to Arsenal, I switch off of players. I've switched off of loads of players that do that. It's Louise, all of them. As soon as they do that, I wash my hands with them. I've always been like that. You know.
The difference is though, he didn't leave that at all. He left him what was meant to be in his time to Arsenal, so he needs to get booed. He needs to get booed.
Champions League at Chelsea, yes. So he's in our history.
So you're gonna boo him then?
Am I gonna boo him? Boo him. We're going to Arsenal, yeah. Because out of every team he could have gone to, he chose them.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm booing him.
I like it.
Listen, I don't care enough about Havertz. Like I wanted to get rid of him, so I don't consider him a snake or anything like that. But listen, the game's the game. He's getting booed, so I'm gonna boo him as well. Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be personal to boo him. Just create an atmosphere. Just be on him, put him off. If you want to give him respect after the game, ask for an autograph, ask for a picture, just say, you know what, thanks for the Champions League. Cool. By all means, but 90 minutes, go at these lot. Man.
That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. So
what about Jorginho? Does he get booed?
Nah.
I don't think we care enough about Jorginho to boo him, to be honest.
I'll boo him.
You know what it is? Like with guys like Czech, Louise, like they went out at older age. Same with Jorginho. Like they were kind of like past their sell to a degree.
Yeah.
With Havertz, like he's meant to be somewhat entering his time. He was shit for us, yeah, but he could have stayed and tried to fight out here.
He left to time,
yeah, and he left to a team that were higher than us in the table at the time. Louise didn't do that. Czech didn't do that. Yeah.
Now Jorginho, I'm not gonna boo him. I'm actually gonna clap Jorginho. But prediction, yeah.
Forget them both, man. Boo them both.
Yeah. After the game, innit? I've got no hard feelings towards Jorginho, man. I think he was good for us. But prediction, bro. Something's telling me 2-1 Chelsea, man. Something's telling me 2-1 Chelsea, Jem. I don't know what it is.
Use your goal scorers.
Bro, I think Sterling loves playing against Arsenal. That's one thing I'll tell you. Yeah, he loves playing against Arsenal. When he was at City, I'm pretty sure he scored a couple goals against them. Yeah. Man, you know what? I said 2-1 the other day on a stream that I was on. So
just stick with it.
I'm gonna say 2-1 Chelsea, man. But my heart's telling me a draw, but my head's telling me go with the 2-1.
Yeah, but that's what's going to happen to me now because I've said draw for a long time, and I still think it will be a draw. But if I'm actually being that guy, and I really want to just throw it out there, I'm going with a 3-1 Chelsea.
I'm saying 2-1 Chelsea, man. Yes, Jem.
I love a 3-1.
There's no disrespect to Arsenal. I think it's tight.
No disrespect, but you know, if we do what we need to do, I think we can hurt them. And we need 100%. To hurt them. We need to hurt them after all of the pain they've given us in the last. They seem to think that they seem to think they can roll up to Chelsea and win comfortably now. That's what their mindset is. They just think,
mate, all them wins that they've had, all them wins they've had in the past few years, has got them a top 4 finish once.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all it's got them.
But they can't be having that mindset.
That's the thing as well that needs to be made clear. Like when they were the better team than us on paper and all of this, like in the early 2000s coming up, we overtook them, not just by beating them in games when we had head-to-head, but also winning trophies. Okay, now we can say, they're probably the better team than us right now. Cool, they're higher than us in the league. Cool, but have they actually overtaken us in terms of now winning trophies and capitalizing on this so-called kind of golden era? No, they've not done anything. So until they do something, you haven't done anything really. So
bro, they just came from bottling. They just came from bottling top 4, and then they upgraded by bottling the league. Like, so
literally.
I don't get where this. You know how Arsenal fans are. Anyway,
they're so cold.
There is no shift. London is not a red until you actually do something about it and win something.
I can't stand that fan base, man.
I asked this question to an Arsenal fan, one of my mates actually. I knew what he was going to say. I said to him, this season on form, who would you have, Sterling or Martinelli?
What did he say?
He said Martinelli. He said, I can't believe you even confirming, even putting
Martinelli's
Sterling
hardly even done anything this season.
Martinelli, right? I've watched it. You don't know.
Can I just say, right? Raheem Sterling scored 3 goals and 2 assists. Martinelli scored 2 goals and 1 assist. And it's not like he's just scoring goals. He's actually performing well, Sterling, in these games as well. Martinelli's good. I actually like Martinelli. I really do like him. But in terms of on form at the moment, Sterling for me.
Gem. Martinelli has had 1 good performance this season against Man City. Before he got injured, he was poor, bro. He was getting subbed. Arsenal fans were talking about him. Start Trossard. He was poor. I've watched every single game in the league this season of Martinelli. He wasn't good. Before he got injured, he wasn't good. Against Man City, I can't lie, he was good. But overall this season, Sterling's been better than him. 100%.
But maybe that's the bias, see. But anyway, guys, big love to you all. First show back. We are back Sunday, by the way, for the match reaction. That's already been agreed in hand. So we will be doing a show on Sunday. You'll see me and Don probably either very excited or very like...
no, just excited. We're going to be just excited. Don't worry, man. Excited.
But I'm going to stay positive. Come on, Chelsea. 3 wins in a row. Like Poch said, there's positivity in around the squad at the moment. They're feeling a lot more confident each and every week in themselves. We have got injuries, but we also have key players available in the team still. So let's just see what happens, man. Let's just see what happens. Guys, big love to every single one of you. So I hope you enjoyed the show. We are back. I am back. I've been away for a while, but I am back now. So we will be doing shows normally. And we will be talking about, obviously, this game on Sunday, and then going into next week, we'll be talking about the games ahead, but we'll also be talking about the individual players' performances this season up to this point as well. We're going to do a show on that as well. Big love. Enjoy the rest of your day. Up the fucking Chelsea. 3-1 all day. Let's get it.
Up the Chelsea, man. Let's go.
Up the Chelsea.